the next talk where whoever is interested in doing something in the line of entrepreneurial adventure while doing a job, today I guess could relate to this. Okay, so next talk is something in that line by someone who has tried different careers in his life, which is also interesting as part of our What's Next series. He's been a physics teacher, then came back to university, done PhD. He has tried many engineering projects. Now he's enjoying his life as a computer science researcher, teacher, and entrepreneur. So let's put a hand together and a big applause for Dr. Sean Walton.
Good morning, everybody. So this talk is about side hustles and benefits and challenges of running a side hustle. So I'm hoping this is going to be useful not only for those of you who want to start a business, but also just in general. I tried to make it general so everyone can get something out of this. So what is a side hustle? A side hustle is a secondary job or business that brings in income. That income, actually, some people's side hustles bring in more money than their main job. But they're still side hustles. As many as 1 in 4 adults in the UK now have a side hustle, and would say they have a side hustle, and that number is actually increasing steadily. Most people who do a side hustle do it to follow a passion or to take on a new challenge. And it's definitely something that is more prevalent among younger generations, kind of like, I'm on the cusp of being a millennial, and it's like me down, and lots of people that start doing this kind of thing. So this talk today is going to be kind of like me taking you through my journey on doing this stuff and kind of giving you a sense of some good things and some bad things about doing it, and maybe making you think about doing this kind of thing yourself. So firstly, I kind of almost didn't want to talk about this, but I think it's an obvious question, is why did I start a side hustle? So why did I have some of you may know, I have a games company that I run at the same time as being a lecturer. And the question is why I started that. And I started because I lost my job. I got made redundant. I was a researcher in engineering, and I got sent a redundancy email at 1 minute past midnight on New Year's Day. And it said that they thought long and hard about it, but there wasn't any economic reason to keep me employed. And that was kind of a moment in my life that I thought, I can't just rely on other people. I need to try and figure out a way of doing things on my own. And I made a plan. I said, right, I can do some tutoring. I can bring in some money from that. I've got a PhD. I could, tutor a bunch of people in a private school. They love that. And I can make money from that, but then maybe I can make games and do something there. So I started making games in 2012, actually before I got made redundant, because it's something I want to do. I'm a physicist, actually, so I did a physics degree, not a computer science degree. And so to make games, I had to learn lots of stuff. The only programming language I was ever taught was Fortran, and I spent years doing nothing but Fortran. So when I eventually wanted to make games, I knew I had to use a different language, and I started learning Java, and like this first game that I made with a friend who I was doing my PhD with, we made that before Android Studio existed. And we kind of, I had to learn Java, object-oriented programming for the first time, and after 5 years of Fortran, that seemed magical to me. And I loved every minute of it. I learned JavaScript and web development to do my second game, and I learned how to do Git, version control. No one taught me how to do that. I had to learn myself, and it was really valuable. And I still keep learning new skills doing this side hustle thing. And so, one big benefit of doing a side hustle, having this second kind of thing that you're doing, is learning new skills and developing yourself, for sure. Now, there is something that we need to talk about if you're kind of wanting to go out and try and do something. Let's say, for example, you want to learn to play the guitar. Now, if you want to learn to play the guitar, you probably know quite a lot about guitar music. Yeah, you probably listen to music and have quite a good taste in guitar music. But the reality is, if you learn to play the guitar, it's 6 weeks of Smoke on the Water, followed by 6 months of Oasis. And you probably think that you suck. And you know that you suck more than anyone because you like guitar music. And people never get through that. Is if you love something enough to actually try and do it yourself, you have a really good taste, everything you start doing, you're going to just be rubbish at it. And you can tell more than anyone that you're rubbish at it. And so some people just can stop and get stuck in that barrier. And so be mindful if you want to try doing something new, that you have to get through that. The kind of funny and annoying thing is that as you get better, your taste also improves, so you never quite feel satisfied with yourself. And so that's why artists are miserable. So be mindful of that. Now, so I made some games kind of like for fun, but the game I started making when I was like, I'm losing my job and I kind of want to see if I can make some money from it, was a game called Intelligent Design and Evolutionary Sandbox. And it's a gardening game, and it's kind of like a really meditative game where you just create some plants, some creatures, and some carnivores, herbivores, and they kind of evolve. I was doing a lot of stuff with evolutionary computation, so I was interested in this idea of evolution, and there's a whole bunch of AIs that kind of evolve. But I only did it to learn Unity, really. That was my main goal with this project. I wanted to make any money. Now, a few other projects I worked on, I regretted not kind of putting them out in the public because of that skill taste barrier thing I talked about. I was kind of a bit nervous. I knew, like, I play a lot of games and I know that that doesn't look very good, right? So there's kind of like, you feel slightly embarrassed about it. But eventually I was like, screw it, I'm just going to put it online. And back in 2016, if you wanted to put a game on PC out there, the only really route you had, unless you knew someone at Valve, so Valve is a company that owns Steam, which is the biggest marketplace on PC, back then you couldn't get on Steam very easily. So I launched it on this site called Itch, and Itch was made for people like me to give us a chance to kind of get our game out there. And I released it for, like, a pay what you want model, so you could download it for free or you could pay what you want. Now the thing with Itch is, there's not much traffic, so every sale, everyone that downloads your game, you have to bring them there, so you have to learn how to actually tell people about your game. 20,000 people ended up downloading the game, which was really good, and 1% paid for it. And so that ended up making me like $500, and I was like, shit, $500, this is amazing. And like, I looked and I used that money to pay for some music, and it was like incredible that first time that someone gives you money for a thing, that you're just kind of doing in your spare time. And I was regularly in the top selling on Itch and most downloaded, and what that told me two things. One, you can't make money on Itch, because if I made $500 and I'm one of the most top selling games, that's, you know, what did I say? And second, I was doing something right, and I thought, how can I take this further? Now, because 20,000 people had downloaded the game, I started to build a bit of a community. Like, I was kind of surprised, because the game itself, I'm not sure even I necessarily enjoyed playing it. I just was interested in the kind of computer science side of it. But some people really liked it and kind of, like, captured them for some reason. So back in so a lot of these people were saying, hey, you should totally release this on Steam. And in 2016, Steam was very different. It wasn't very easy to get on. What you had to do is you had to go through this thing called a green light process, where you had to pay like 100 quid or something, and you had to get a certain number of those before they let you put your game on Steam. Now, because I'd already built that community, I did it in a couple of months, because there were people already playing my game, they wanted to see it on Steam, so like I could get them to go vote for me, and you know, that was really good. But then that was kind of scary, because Valve sent me an email saying, hey, we want you to bring the game to Steam, and then, you know, that was when things got a bit real, because if you're releasing software, like, it's one thing on Itch, 20,000 sounds like a lot, but it's not really. Like, Steam, you know, you're talking millions of people will see your game or whatever. And suddenly you kind of start to think, well, I'm a bit vulnerable here. Like, if you start selling software, there's a chance that you might end up having, like, if something goes wrong, people could sue you for some reason. And then you would personally be liable. So what I had ended up doing was starting a company, so that if that, you know, it's a very small risk, but if something happened, I wouldn't be personally liable, like they didn't take my house. It would be the company that is liable. Can someone just pull the blind out for me? So, so benefit 2 is learning how to start a company. So in 2017, I formed a company called Bug Interactive. And so the thing to know when you start a company, it's like more and less scary than you think it is. So there were some costs to start out. So it cost me about £1,000 for a accountants. So the reason that you pay accountants is because they know more about this stuff than you do, and they make sure you're not breaking the law. I ended up paying 500 quid for some assets and web hosting. Despite years of brainwashing on YouTube, I didn't pay for Squarespace, but I paid for something similar to Squarespace, so Jimdo. But even though I teach web development, and I totally could make a website, that time, there's this concept of spending money on your time. So my time for developing that was worth more than just paying 500 quid for someone to do it. And so that's something to bear in mind. And then 500 quid for branding for the game. If you do decide to go down this route with kind of side hustle, something you need to realise is that you, your company, and your employer are three separate entities, and you need to keep them separate. So, for example, that laptop there belongs to me personally. And on that laptop, I do stuff to do with university. I sometimes will give lectures on that laptop, and I sometimes do stuff to do with Pua. I also have a university laptop that I only do university stuff on, because that belongs to the university. It doesn't belong to me, it doesn't belong to my company. And you also have to think about that in terms of time as well. So you need to respect that. Now, more and more companies are okay with you doing this, because what people are finding is when companies say, no, you can't start a business, really good people are just leaving and saying, well, I don't want that job then. I'll go get a job somewhere where they let me do this. I put the work, started the company, put the work into getting it all working on Steam, and I booked today's annual leave for launching the game, and I launched it, and the first video was this, and it wasn't a particularly good video. The guy didn't get it, didn't like it, and I thought, oh god, this has gone badly. But it didn't actually, because I'd already built a community. I had those people that I could say to them, hey, I just launched on Steam. Could you go and leave a review? You've been playing the game for the last year. It would really help me if you did that. And these people, because it was this part of this kind of community, and they really liked, they liked me and they liked what I was doing and they wanted to support me. They did it, and very early on, I got to very positive on Steam. And what that meant was I was in the new and trending for a week, essentially. And it was kind of interesting because it was new and trending and really positive. It's a very niche, weird game, okay? And so the people that were buying it on itch, they were into that kind of thing. Whereas suddenly you've got kind of your general normal person on the internet saying, oh, there's a popular game, I'm going to download and see what it is, and completely being unprepared for what it was. And that's when kind of you can see, this is the reviews. So originally lots of positive, very quickly about the same number of negative reviews. And if you think Dan is nasty when he writes comments, this is really get ready if you ever try and release something on the internet. I was not quite ready for how much people would tell me they hated me and I was a terrible person for creating something. And I kind of get it. People are paying money for this thing, right? So there's some side of it is yes, if they're not happy, that's a problem. But I wasn't, something you need to know is as you leave university, the kind of feedback you get will become less nice, and people might be a bit less nice to you with this stuff, and you kind of need to grow, be okay with that. And it took me a while to get used to that. But people really loved it as well, and it was a really kind of Marmite situation. Some people really liked it, some people really hated it. This person's played 100 hours of this game. That's just unbelievable to me. But a lot of people hate it. But sometimes I get people emailing me saying they play with their children and they think it's kind of educational, even though I don't mean to make it educational. And so also I spent a long time contacting YouTubers, as you probably get, that's a thing that you have to do. And it was really nice actually. I spent a long time looking for people who I thought would like the game and sending it to them. And they got pretty decent views on their videos because the game was mixed on Steam. People wanted to go out and see, well, is this game any good or not? And so these people, it was really nice because these people, particularly Nukian, was a lot, he's got 65,000 subscribers now, but when I first kind of spoke to him, I think he was less than 10,000. And this video he posted of the game ended up being the biggest video on his site because it just was at the right time. And he did a series of 10 videos, and it was just really nice that he was kind of benefiting from it, I was benefiting from it, and he's someone who I keep in touch with, and all these people, you start to build, they're all doing their own side hustle, and so it's this really nice kind of community feel that we're all trying to help each other. And then Kotaku actually ran an article on the game, because I put this weird puzzle in it that was really hard. It took months for someone to figure it out. And that's Kotaku's like one of the biggest web gaming sites. So yeah, so it got like it actually got some pretty good marketing power. And that takes us to benefit number 3 of the side hustle, which is money. And I'll tell you why I'm going to share the kind of like money for this at the end. So the total revenue for the game over like since it launched is £35,000. That's on Steam, so that's Valve's side. That's the money that I see when I log in to Steam. And you see that, and like most of that I made in the first weekend. So like 20,000 of that was in the first weekend. So I was like, holy shit, I'm rich. I'm order a yacht. But then what happens is, you think that's good, but then what happens is they say, Valve is like, oh okay, but actually this many people got a refund, and this many people actually bought on stolen credit cards. So actually that number goes to 28,000. You think, oh, still, I can still get a pretty nice car there. And then they take their cut, so they take a cut, and that takes down to £20,000, still pretty good, yeah. Then, okay, I've got to pay my accountants. So that's basically, that's the cost of getting it to the Pillbug bank account, my business bank account. Then I pay my accountants, that's £5 grand over this whole time period, and some other people. Bank charges. Business banking is expensive. You pay for everything. Then Pillbug itself gets taxed, so that goes down to 12,000. And then for me to get it, I get taxed because I'm taking that money out, and it ends up as £10,000, which is like, this is not nothing, right? This is really, like for me, that was at a point in my life where I really needed that. But then you look, so you go from 35,000 to 10,000, and this is just one person working on the game. So if it's 2 people, that is halved. It ended up that when I looked at how many hours I spent on the game, I earned like £25 an hour doing it, but it took like 3 years for that number to get to that £25 an hour. So the reason I show you this is to think how much money you have to make a living doing this kind of thing. It's much bigger than you think. All this money goes to taxes and other people. And the other thing about games is, like, you sell everything in the first few months, and then you only sell things when you're putting them on 90% off sales. As you all, if anyone's on Steam, you kind of know that idea. And so the question is, how long can you survive as a business between game launches? Because that's the only time you make any money. So benefit number 4 is meeting lots of great people. So I've met lots of people, and the idea is like I have certain skills and I need other people to help me. So this is Carly and Hay. They are my accountants. They started their accountancy business about a week before I started my company, and it's been really great kind of like doing stuff with them. This is Dave. Dave is now my business partner. He joined after the first game was released. He's a writer. He's a science fiction writer. And he was really worried because he said, well, I can't program. What use am I in a games company? And I'm like, well, I can program. I don't need anyone who can program. I need people who can write stories. I need someone to think more artistically. And so that's the thing. Is like you probably want to think outside of just people in your same subject. You meet lots of people. This is Hannah. She's an artist and she's working on some art for our next game. Ace is a guy in LA I've never met, but he does all of our logos and branding. And then Jordan is a musician and composer. And I got an email from him a few years ago saying, hey, I saw your game and I'd quite like to make music for games. I'm based in Cardiff. And I get quite a few of those emails. So I was like, yeah, okay, great. I'll just look at your portfolio. And the first thing that came up was the last Blade Runner film. And he's actually done music for, so this is the last 3 projects he's worked on. So like he's good. It turns out that composers are like, essentially, to get into movie composing, you actually aren't credited for a long time. So the person who you see on the credits isn't actually the person writing the music. So anyway, so Jordan's incredibly talented, way better than we have any right to be working with him. And he makes music for us, like we pay him, obviously. So the second game then, was a game called Cycle 28. Like lots of things have changed. Dave had joined. I had experience, but that meant I had expectations, because of course everything gets better, right? You always get better, you never get worse. And the Steam marketplace was much more crowded. So you could just pay 100 quid and run Steam, which meant everyone was going on Steam. And so we thought, right, well, we can't sell huge amounts of copies, and we knew that we had to, like, it's all about, we only make games, we only make money on launches. So we were like, how quick can we make a game? And so we minimised our scope, and we thought, right, we're going to make a really simple game, but it's going to feel great. And we're going to just like focus on polish. And so we ended up making this kind of shooter thing. this idea I've had in my head for a very long time. And we also put loads of energy into marketing because we figured that was the hardest thing, because everyone's released the game on Steam, we need to somehow stand out. So we started this crazy, idea that, if we just put content on YouTube, or if we just create content, that'll work. So every week we released 4 videos. So we released a video of us playing the game, of us talking about the game, of us playing other games, what were kind of like our game. And then on launch day, we recorded a video of making coffee in the morning and talking about what it was like to make games. Annoyingly, that's the most viewed video. No one was particularly interested in all this other stuff. And it was tiring, right? Because we're both full-time lecturers, and we were just broken. And at the same time, we were emailing YouTubers, and thousands. I think I sent 1,500 emails. It's crazy. And what we did was, because remember I was saying about this barrier between your company and your work, is that we would do this at the weekend and then set automation to kind of make it look like we were constantly doing stuff, but actually we were just doing it all on a Saturday. And then it would slowly be dripped up automatically, and it was exhausting. But hard work, that pays off, doesn't it? So we basically sold nothing. I mean, we were on Steam, on the front page of Steam for 2 hours, okay, compared to a week for the first game. And it was the wrong 2 hours, because Americans were all sick. So we screwed up, and it was crushing. It was horrible. I cancelled everything. We launched on a Friday, and it was my friend's birthday on Saturday, and I was like, dude, I just can't. We need to somehow fix this. That surely we can do something, make a better trailer, do something to fix it, and we couldn't. And it was awful. I can't explain how horrible this felt. Because we've been working to our limits, and we were kind of broken anyway, and then to have this as well, it was awful. We made barely over $1,500 in total, so nothing. So it's an experiment that kind of failed. So benefit 5, your ability to feed yourself isn't dependent on your business. And that's serious, we're lucky. Imagine if that was also, if we'd have quit our jobs, right? Imagine what that would have felt like. We had no other source of income. And the thing that kind of makes it even more crushing is people love it. People really love the game. I think we've got 2 negative reviews on Steam, compared to the first game where it's 50-50. And we, again, of those 1,500 emails, 15 people did a video, probably about 150 then plays the game, but then 15 did a video. And some of them are really good, and something I really genuinely love is these are all people, like I said, doing their own side hustles, and we can kind of work together, and it's we're all in the same boat of everyone's got a YouTube channel and everyone's doing this. I want to point out Nohan, so he actually does Let's Plays and videos, he can't use his arms. And so he tries games out, and to show other disabled people, can we play this game? And I think, I never knew people were doing that. He's doing that entirely himself, and he has a Patreon. And if you've got a spare $5, I would recommend finding him and just giving him a $5. He buys games. We didn't even know he was doing it. He just asked for a key, and we sent him a key. He didn't say why he was doing that. But again, these are smaller YouTubers that we get on really well with, and that's really nice. So we kind of licked our wounds, and we kind of thought, what are we going to do? And the Switch had just come out, and we thought, well, our game probably would work well for the Switch, so we emailed a pitch to Nintendo, and they said yes. And then came the hardest 6 months of software engineering I've ever done. But we released the game on Nintendo Switch, which is something I'm really, really proud of. But it was really hard. So everything on the Nintendo Switch is under a non-disclosure agreement. So making this port was programming without Stack Overflow, and it was hard. Because it's the hardest software engineering I've ever done. And like I said, I didn't do a software engineering degree, I did a physics degree. And it was hard, it was really hard, but we did it and we released on Switch. I can't tell you how well it sold, because Mario can't break my legs, but it sold better, but not enough that it's still, that I would say this game is anywhere close to a success. But what was nice is, as soon as you're on Nintendo, people take it a bit more seriously. And one of the things I love about being in Wales, and why I would only ever make games in Wales, is the community here is amazing and supportive, and how people rallied around us, just strangers rallied around us and wanted to us to do better. was just incredible, and like I love living here and doing this stuff. And this is like the Nintendo South Wales group, and I remember they invited us to do a show with them, and I never knew these groups existed, but Nintendo put money into these community groups. And you go there, and the age range is like, there was like a 13-year-old and like right up to 40-year-olds, and all just getting together and playing games and having fun. And it was just really nice to be a part of that. Then like bigger sites started reviewing the game because like it's on Nintendo, and Nintendo Life gave us an 8, which is really good. Nintendo Life, if you don't know, that they tend to be a bit stingy with their 8s. And like one thing I think I can tell you without getting annoyed is that Nintendo look at Nintendo Life and they use this to judge quality of games on their platform. And so you can only go on certain sales if you have an 8 or higher. So that put us in this ability to get sales. And then last year we got nominated for Welsh BAFTA for the game, which was even more like nuts. And all of this stuff is like, and the benefit 6 is pushing you outside your comfort zone. Like, I grew up in the countryside, I didn't know what a dinner suit is. And like, I had to buy a dinner suit, and like, I think these suits cost more than we made in the game. But this whole thing, I like was just freaking out before going to this. This is the scariest thing I've ever done. But it was kind of what there's something about living on that, like knowing where your limits are that's really valuable. Like the last time when I was a school teacher, I felt the same of like really get pushed and like and it's like it's unhealthy. We need to find a way of doing that healthily. But there is something about it that feels like knowing that. That's really good. So the other thing to realise if you want to start this stuff, there's no such thing as an overnight success, even though everyone thinks there is, right? You see like Minecraft, you see Braid, you see these things and you think that, oh wow, this person, he made his first game and made loads of money. It doesn't work like that. It's just there's lots of games you haven't heard of. And so what we're kind of like, I think we're kind of approaching our next game in a much more healthy way and kind of enjoying the process more than the actual, like, whether or not you succeed or fail with selling. So we're working on a game, we're doing it a bit slower, making it home. So this is a game, you're a ladybug trying to travel across America, building a vehicle along your way. And we're actually, the art is hand painted and we get to work. Something else I love about this as well is like, a lot of our money, like we make money, but it's the profit, like we kind of like, what comes into the company pretty much goes out. But that money that goes out is going to other people who are doing their own things. So like Hannah, the artist for this, she's never thought, I knew her, she's a scientist, she's a researcher at Swansea. And I knew her and I knew that she sketched in her own time and she does amazing stuff. She never thought she could get paid to do this. And so we were like, no, you should do this. And like, so that money doesn't go, it might not be paying for us, but it's definitely helping other people as well. So those are kind of the benefits. Something you need to know, like if you ever want to talk to me about this, like now or like next year or whenever, you can always email me and ask me about this stuff or just talk to me. So those are the benefits and challenges of having a side hustle. Thank you.
That was a very inspiring talk. Any questions from you?
Yeah.
Yeah, who said? Okay.
How did you bring the
so that was, back then it was a bit easier to do. There was a lot of Twitter, a lot of going on kind of game development communities and sharing it there. I think that was the main ways. Again, like back then, there was like this website called IndieDB, where a lot of indie developers would blog, and because there were less people doing it, it was a bit easier to kind of get that traffic.
Is there a story behind Pillbug?
Yes. So the story behind Pillbug is in intelligent design, like the little units, everyone just said, well, this is rubbish, they just look like a bunch of wood lice. So